Radical.
So here's what I did. I watched a couple uploads on YouTube. I was curious about that new show, Masters of the Universe. I don't think He-Man's in the title. Pretty appropriate that He-Man's not in the title, but I'll get into that in a second. I watched a lot of uploads on YouTube, rants on the show. I went over to the Rotten Tomatoes, read some stuff on it. It's got a really high critical review, I think 95%, which is really weird because I'm not really feeling that with the show I watched. Maybe I have to watch it again and pay attention to maybe the writing, because I felt that the writing was not good. I didn't feel much of anything. Like, the animation, I'll say, is decent. It's okay. Nothing wrong with the animation. But I was kind of shocked. 4 or 5 minutes in, it just seemed like I was bracing myself because almost all the male characters were just being like kind of belittled. Especially, Man-at-Arms. The dad of Teela. Okay. Now, I haven't seen a lot of the He-Man Masters of the Universe, that 80s cartoon, but it seemed like Teela wasn't that big of a character in the show. Like, I'm watching this going like, who the fuck is Teela? Like, you got He-Man, you got Skeletor, and I'm like, Teela? Why does Teela factor into this so much? And then I put 2 and 2 together and I figure out, oh, okay, that's what it is. They're trying to kind of, do what is being done oftentimes a lot in media right now, which is the shift from the male character to a strong female character. And when I say strong female character, I mean like a overly steroided look that Teela has, and that one haircut, the kind of long hair to the side and then the shaved to the side, whatever and everything. So I found myself just kind of speeding through it. I watched the whole thing at 1.5 speed, and still, I wanted a higher speed. Now, there's aspects of it that weren't terrible. There's some surprises here and there. But even then, it seems like I just couldn't, as a man, I couldn't watch it and not realize that they were just belittling all the male characters and giving a power boost to the female characters. And beyond that, it just seemed like they kept killing off the male characters. I don't know if there was one single female death in it. I mean, I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. He-Man dies more than once. They do flashbacks, so there's some scenes with He-Man, but it's all flashbacks, Orko dies. Robot Man dies. If you got man in your title, you're fucked. In this show, you are fucked. Particularly, 2 things kind of stuck out. And I'm not saying that there weren't any cool scenes with, Man-at-Arms, but specifically, he just seemed belittled. And I didn't see any female really belittled in the show. Just specific. There was one scene that stuck out to me. After He-Man dies the first time, there's that Teela character, and she just kind of she storms off all dramatical, and she is pissed that they kept that a secret from her. That Adam was He-Man. And she focused on that, and there's the grieving parents, right in front of her. So that was really disrespectful. The other thing that stuck out to me was there was a scene where Teela was fighting a fear villain. I think the power of the villain was to cause fear. And apparently, Teela's fear was she was apparently just too awesome. That's how I took that. Okay. Because we can't show her having any weakness. Such a strong character she is. She can't have any weakness whatsoever. So we established that. So she's ultra super badass, and she has some powers, neat and nifty. Then there's someone that accompanies her, some black chick. Maybe it's low-key like her lesbian lover, or it's implied. I don't really mind that. I don't care about that. I just don't like the fact that they seem to give a lot of screen time, a lot of attention to this black chick that, I don't know, like, from the very onset, she's kicking around an established character, the Stink Man, the Skunk character, and I don't know, like, I just didn't know who it was. Maybe someone can enlighten me. Was it someone just specifically created for the show to be super badass and a powerful female? I'm not sure. You know, as long as they have lots of scenes where she's, you know, kicking around all the men. Okay, fine. What else? Skeletor. Skeletor, I mean, I do voices. I could probably do a better Skeletor. What, could they not find someone that could do a proper Skeletor voice? I don't know what it is. Skeletor just sounds a bit like feminine. Some of the male characters just sound very feminine. And the female characters, maybe that's just to offset that. It seems like so much of this show was written and constructed in a certain way. Who wrote this? Fucking Kevin Smith wrote this? What the hell, man? The Clerks guy? The Mallrats guy? Jeez, how far can you fall, huh? What did I like? The animation in spots was not terrible. There was some nice fluid animation and points. Some of the brief fight scenes were not bad. Whenever Man-at-Arms was jumping on the boat, you know, kicking the crap out of the sea people, that was not bad. I like the scenes with the motherboard cult and that visual of that one robot guy, like his head spinning around. Okay, that gets a thumbs up, but I mean, I'm just trying to find some positive things to say. It wasn't good. It was not good. And sometimes you actually just have to check these things out on your own. And I went into it not really trying to dislike it. Like, I was actually going, okay, this can't be like that woke. This can't be that woke. I mean, maybe there's a lot of overemphasis on stuff, but I'm like, okay, it is fucking woke. This is some of the wokest shit I've ever seen, you know? Like, I've seen people complain about woke stuff, but this is, you know, is that the terminology, woke? I don't know. I'll just say, like, overly demasculating of men. That's how I see. As a man, I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, this shit obviously is not for me. And maybe it's sometimes not bad, but you should kind of like give a warning to people trying to watch a show. Like, this specifically is for females. Like, this, we're turning Masters of the Universe into Masters of the Universe for females. So maybe that's the goal of it. It seems like false advertising to me. At least they didn't put He-Man in the title of it, right? Revelations. The revelation is, fuck you if you're a man. They should just call it something. How about this? You know how they could have fixed this? Just call it, like, Tila. Okay? Right? Tila. Here's the weird thing is, like, what happens in most of these cases is you have, maybe there's a feeling of a lack of faith in people actually watching something like this if you can't attach He-Man to it. But this is bullshit because you put He-Man in it, and obviously He-Man is not the focus of the story. It's Teela. It's not He-Man. We don't like that fucking bait and switch. We don't.